Hi and welcome back to Philosophy with Phil, with me, Phil Cohen. In the previous video we're talking about thought and thought crime, and we talked about our relationship with God and the various thoughts that one should have and thoughts that one shouldn't have. And we talked about six mitzvahs, four positive, two negative. Four positive mitzvahs, two prohibitions that are mandated in the Torah that one can fulfill at any one time under most circumstances. I wanted to recommend this fabulous book. It is designed for kids, I know. It's not often that I plug books, but like a few kids' books, it's actually well worth adults reading as well. It goes through those six mitzvahs that I mentioned, the four positive, the two prohibitions, and explains them in a bit more detail, gives the sources, and so on. But as I say, it's a cheap shot. You can perform those mitzvahs pretty much any time, anywhere. Great to do. In terms of our relationship with other people, there is only one thought crime. Okay, and I'm going to keep you guessing as to what it is, but suffice it to say, it's in the Ten Commandments. So I'd hope that you can figure out what it is by then. We'll come on to it in a little while. But I'm hoping that you see that out of the 613 mitzvahs in the Torah, only 6 of them relate to thoughts. And as I mentioned, there's 2 or 3, maybe 4 that relate to speech. So action is very much more important than thought. So we often get asked, can you take credit for doing a mitzvah if you don't believe in God? Let's break that question down into 2 parts. Doing a mitzvah, not believing in God. Start with doing mitzvahs. Judaism is a very practical religion. If you read some of the writings of Baruch Spinoza, or as he converted out and then became Benedict Spinoza, one of the frustrations he had with Judaism was it was just too practical. There was no contemplation. To give you an example, you can have a woman who's born Jewish, but she's professes to be an atheist, doesn't believe in anything. If she marries and has kids, those children, despite what she believes and despite what she wants, are Jewish, as long as she can verify her Jewish ancestry matrilineally. However, you can have an Orthodox family that does all of the mitzvahs, is very firm with all the whole shebang. But they can find out that unfortunately, for whatever reason, the mother finds out that she isn't in fact Jewish, and that there's been a mistake. And unfortunately, I have seen both circumstances happen, and the children aren't Jewish. And there are remedies for this. Don't worry. But the thoughts that they have, the mitzvahs that they do, what they want to happen is less important than what actually does happen, what they do actually do. Okay? In other words, Jewish law is we do hold by matrilineal descent, and that is sacrosanct. That doesn't change regardless of what people think or what people believe. So when people ask me, can you do a mitzvah without believing in God? We can see that doing a mitzvah, yeah, absolutely, you can. And if anyone knows anything about Lubavitch and has been accosted by one of their shluchim that goes around on Rosh Hashanah blowing shofar for people or helping people put tefillin on and so on, you'll see that they don't really care what people believe in. If you're Jewish, you're going to do mitzvahs. But also I'd question when people say to me, well, I don't believe in God, shall I do mitzvahs? I've heard both sides of the coin. I've heard people that say they don't believe in God, but when you dig a little bit, turns out, yeah, well, they do believe in something. They do believe in some sort of supreme being. They're not totally atheists. They're not genuine atheists. They believe in something. They believe in morality, at least. They believe that they're answerable to a higher source. Yeah. And people that do believe in God, unfortunately, are often, some of the people I speak to are often quite confused about what their belief is, and some of the thoughts they have are plain wrong. So you can have it both ways. So when someone says, "Can you do mitzvahs if you don't believe in God?" I say, absolutely. You know, you need to work on your belief in God, understand and clarify what you think you mean by it, but absolutely, just go ahead and do the mitzvahs nonetheless, and the belief in God will come along with time. Coercion in Jewish law. It's not condoned, but it's not prohibited as such. Why? Because we believe in the beauty of the human being. The human being is the crowning achievement of creation. God gave humans free will, Rotzon, and I've done another video on that. We believe that an individual has self-determination and has the ability and the rights, the ability to determine their own actions. And we are held accountable for our actions, regardless of what led up to those actions, and regardless of what the subsequent consequences of those actions are as well. Classic, I'd urge you to research this further if it's an area you're interested in. Garmi Groma, it's called in Jewish law, where I don't know, you have a car accident, you shunt a car in front of you, and the guy in the car in front of you is holding a coffee, and that coffee spills. Are you accountable for the damage done by that coffee that spills? The answer is no. Because you're responsible for the damage you do specifically to the car, not any consequential damage, as it's called, I think, in English law. You're held accountable for the laws that for the laws and the prohibitions that you keep or break. So coercion, you can't go and do something and say he told me to do it. And don't like using this phrase for reasons I hope will become apparent. You cannot say I was just following orders. That doesn't work in Jewish law. Being nasty, okay, being nasty it's not, it's just wrong, okay. People that are nasty to Jews or nasty to gays, yes, it's discriminatory and it's anti-Semitic or it's homophobic or whatever it is, but at the end of the day, then that's nasty, and it belies a sort of nasty attitude, and all these people are doing is channeling their nastiness in a particular direction at a particular group of people. So in Judaism, that doesn't cut it, okay? It's nasty. It doesn't matter whether you single out a bunch of people because you feel that they're different and there's some difference in them that makes them the target of your condemnation, or you try and justify your nastiness because of that difference or because of something they're doing. That doesn't matter. Being nasty is just plain wrong, okay? Encouraging others to be nasty is just plain wrong. We haven't got specific commandments for it. Yes, we're told that you should love your fellow as yourself, and you should try and help people as much as you can. And the Torah does try and push us along the road of not being nasty to anybody. Being nasty and spiteful in itself isn't a crime, but as I said earlier, there is one thought crime in relation to other people that is mentioned in the Ten Commandments, and that is being envious. Okay? Being envious or jealous, and there is a difference, I won't go into it right now, is wrong. And most nastiness is rooted in envy. Some of it's rooted in fear, I get that, and hence the phrase, a lot of the anti-Islam or anti-Muslim sentiment that's out there is out of fear. That's why it's called Islamophobia. It's like a phobia, like arachnophobia is a phobia of spiders. So Islamophobia is a fear of the actions that some Muslims have taken based on fundamentalistic beliefs or extremist beliefs. The problem I've got with condemning people for being nasty, or punishing people for being nasty, or saying nasty things, or harbouring nasty thoughts. And the problem Judaism has with that is, yes, it's difficult to prove. Okay, they may say them, but maybe they're just retweeting or forwarding on or sharing a post that somebody else has shared. But how do you know that they've recanted and they've taken it back? How do you know when they say, sorry, those things were wrong, I shouldn't have done it, I made a mistake, time to move on? It's very difficult, because you can hold, the human mind is capable of doing two things at the same time, and tweeting all of those, tweeting anti-Semitic or nasty thoughts, but still, I don't know, joining up to go to Holocaust Memorial Day, or doing things that are good for the Jews. Because you can do them at different times. So Judaism doesn't really have a lot to say about being nasty, per se. But it just says, look, come on guys, let's just get on. We're all on the same side. We all want the same thing. And if something is good, regardless of what you think, regardless of what your ego tells you to do, regardless of what your deficiencies are and how it makes you feel bad, it needs to be encouraged. I hope that's helped clarify some things. Shabbat Shalom, and thank you for watching.